there was this report from John Heyman over the weekend that baseball, there was some discussion, would they, for this year, should it happen, and the next year, put a runner at second base in extra innings. Then they decided, this is the Middlecoff rule, then they decided, no, we'll just try it out for 2020. You got very excited. I rolled my eyes. I'm like, whatever. But
you've been self-acknowledged. You don't even stay up to watch it.
Look, I think before we get into what we're not actually going to talk about this whole second base thing. We're going to come up with our other gimmicks that we would try out, since clearly you can just try a bunch of stuff out this year. And I'm for trying stuff out this year. Like I told our buddy John Dickinson, if you hate this rule, the best thing you could have is have it like decide a World Series game, and then it won't come back to next year. But
I would assume, I didn't read it, not for the playoffs.
I would assume it's not for the playoffs too. But I've called a lot of softball in my day. Spit on myself, play-by-play. I've called a lot of softball. I've seen that rule, and I've seen another rule, which I know you're going to bring up in action. I think it especially makes sense when you don't know how, once you start this thing up, how rosters are going to be affected. Hardly any off days. Let's just get these games in and out.
Fatigue, given they didn't get a proper build-up.
Yeah. So we've argued about runner at second base a lot. We'll probably argue about it again. We won't do that here, other than to say I'm cool with trying it for this year, even though I don't really love it. Part of me would rather have a tie than a runner at second base in extra innings, but whatever. So we thought, since they're trying stuff out for 2020, 60-game season or whatever the hell it's going to be, what other ideas, gimmicks, what other things would you roll out? You start. What do you got?
Really quick on the strategy, because DH is coming clearly. So the strategy a little bit in baseball.
Universal DH, yeah.
Runner on second base, 10th inning. You're clearly going to put one of your faster guys out there, especially if they allow you to put whoever you want
as
out there.
As opposed to the guy that made the last out, which is another way to do it in the previous inning.
Yeah, so you put the fast guy out there. Do you immediately bunt and get him to third, or do you not worry about that? That to me is a little strategy.
Yeah,
I guess it depends who's up.
It does depend who's up. And who's coming up.
I like it. We'll see what it looks like. I'm just not. One thing I'm just vehemently against, and this would be NFL, golf. If golf goes to T-shirts in like 10 years, I'm open to it. I hate baseball more than anyone. They do not like the new little curveballs coming.
It's true, but I will say this: just because they don't like your idea, and by they I mean me, doesn't mean it's because they're afraid of change, right?
But you guys don't ever try it. Like I would give basketball and football, they try stuff, then they hate it and take it out. Baseball refuses to
They put it in the independent baseball league where nobody can see it.
Well, to me, that's where the NFL, and I'll give the NBA, the NBA has less to change. But even the NBA, they're doing different balls. The NFL is very good at like implementing rules. Now it's easier. They have a million rules, so you can be like, oh, you can challenge PI. Like they have easier tweaks, I think, than baseball. But
baseball added challenge and stuff like that.
But but there are a lot of other ideas like mine. I've been toying with this.
Okay.
The problem with this idea, it wouldn't necessarily add a lot of juice because you'd have to watch the entire game or at least be at the ninth inning to really see how cool this would be. My first reaction was to be, you can bat one guy, anyone you want in the ninth. Then I thought, screw that. You can bring up the three guys you want, any three guys you want. So obviously you'd bring up your three best hitters. Though, like from a big picture, add a little juice. Same thing with the 10th inning. Like if you really want them to get them earlier in the game to be interested, I don't really have a great curveball to like speed up the game or make things really cool. My thing, I love the second base rule. That's my favorite rule because no one, including you, because you even admit you go to sleep, and I do too, is want to watch those games. Not the broadcasters, not the player. They want the fucking thing to end. So I'm all for that.
Oh, I've stayed up and watched extra inning games. I don't act like I turn off the TV after 9 innings.
No, but we all have, and they're miserable. I'm saying most of the time, unless it's like a World Series
my argument against this, just for a moment, is that I don't think having somebody stay watching in the third hour of your thing is not the number one priority. The number one priority is let's get to the ninth inning faster. But
yeah,
anyway.
to me, the second base thing is ultimately
you're
right.
It, so
it's just getting to go home.
What about the?
But I would do bat anybody. Now, I've also thought you could bat anybody you could pick one spot a game to all of a sudden, like, bases loaded, 4th inning, you're facing like Scherzer. You like, okay, bring up Harper, right? But it's the 8th.
Right.
So it'd be something with the batting order and being able to implement my sweet hitters, because you would agree, like in football, every time Mahomes, he gets the ball every time they play, right? Every time he's on the field.
Yeah.
The one thing with baseball, you can be watching a game, Barry Bonds, Griffey, Harper, whoever, whatever, Trout. Sometimes you feel like you don't feel him for an hour of the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, the difference in the game, right, too, is that the defense controls the ball, not the offense. Right.
Yeah.
So,
but the best part of baseball, I would say the most casual part of baseball that a guy can be drawn to is a sweet hitter hitting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
so I would just try to add that.
You add that. What about adding a second DH? So not only is your pitcher not hitting, but your weakest hitter is not hitting. Your weakest
so like
fielder.
Second baseman or right fielder, whoever's your shittiest hitter.
Yeah, so you have 2 DHs in the lineup. Just because I don't love the idea of being able to say, bases loaded, boom, we're putting in Bryce Harper, or 9th inning.
Only once a game, kind of like a challenge.
Oh, okay. Or 9th inning, we can bat anybody. I don't love that. But the other one, what I thought, honestly, I thought your idea, maybe you've mentioned this to me, is being able to re-enter anybody. That's a rule that softball has. Like, to me, that might be one thing. It's not a big thing, but is it a little thing where it's like, okay, we can pinch run for Posey in the 6th inning, but then we can bring him back. So when a player goes out of the game, as a viewer, oh, he can still come back into this game, right?
Well, it'd kind of be the equivalent of, like, if you have a guy that runs one route and he only plays like 5-10 snaps a game, right? You are able to,
or
like,
a pass
he's not
rush
a huge,
specialist, yeah.
Yeah, he's not a huge part of your game plan. In baseball, it's difficult because that guy, you don't want to use him if you have like the speed demon, but he can't do anything else. He just pinch runs for your slower guys late in games and tight games. Well, he could go a week without playing in a game, right?
You might like softball. Anybody can re-enter. Like, you can re-enter as many players as you want, but each person can only do it once.
Yeah.
So maybe you do where you can re-enter. Each person can only do it once, but it's like soccer where you only get 2 or 3 subs. Not subs, but re-entries over the course of a game. Or maybe you only get 1 re-entry.
I did have a crazy idea. Again, this is not realistic. Something like you have to throw a fastball down the middle. But, I mean, that's a little extreme. But it would be cool. Like, your sweet hitter, fastball's coming down the middle, and just see what you got.
So I got a few more for you. Tell me what you think.
That's all I got, though.
Okay, I got a couple. This is not crazy, but the robo-ump, just less arguing, less bitching and moaning. Let's just umpire calls balls and strikes. Boop, it lights up, and off we go. Speed things up. You can't argue balls and strike. There's no step out and look back at the guy like, what, man? Let's no arguing, right? Robo-ump. What do you think? Yeah, it's not a new one, so.
It's Eric Burns been beating that drum for 10 years.
I saw somebody have the idea to make the bases a little bit bigger.
I like that.
I've always wanted to put the safety bag at first base where, there's like.
It breaks off.
Well, no, it doesn't break off. There's just 2 bases at first base. The one that you're used to, and then one in foul territory that's like the orange base. The way I think they do it in like softball. Don't
hate that at all. I'm cool with that.
Again, just one little thing to like, let's try and avoid people, breaking each other's ankles. If we can save 1 star player a year, maybe that's cool. Okay, another one for you, John. The Independent League tried this one. You require there to be at least 2 infielders on either side of second base. This isn't helping people who don't love the game right now, but again, less time moving back and forth. Make it a little easier to understand. That guy stays there. That guy stays there. Take a shot at analytics too. What do you think about that one?
I like it.
Okay, now
I'm cool with banning the shift.
Ban the shift. It's basically the same thing.
Baseball killed it for a long time without the shift.
All right, here's one. Now, what you're thinking is, Guy, you're a traditionalist. None of this stuff impresses me because none of this stuff is that crazy. This is one that traditionalists will hate, although not because it's like a crazy rule change. How about this?
You got to do 8 360s while you're on the on-deck circle before you get in the batter's box?
Bat like that. Put it on your forehead like you're playing a basketball game at halftime. Right now, commercial breaks are 2 minutes and 5 seconds, the time between every half inning. Take 30 seconds out, so now they're 90 seconds. Less time to warm up, less time to fuck around. put ads on the jerseys to make up for the lost 30 seconds of ad revenue and move things along a little quicker.
Do you think that slows it down, though, between innings?
Well, I mean, if we just took out 30 seconds between every half inning, you're putting minutes back into the game. Yeah, I mean, it does just
right.
from the math of it, it does just slow things down. Like, there's something to be said, and someone tweeted, you said the other day, soccer's coming. The one thing watching soccer that soccer has that no other sport has is
you watch it for 45 straight minutes.
There's no commercial breaks. So, like, the generation that grows up just paying, I'd rather pay $10 for a subscription than to watch commercials. Soccer does fit, and I think golf does a good job of it. You and I were talking about the No Laying Up podcast that had Nance on, and they were talking about how much commercial time. I think golf is fine with that. But baseball is just, you see 2 outs, like, commercials coming.
Yeah. Golf, you just never know. Basketball, there are times, I mean, even if you don't, like, know the nitty-gritty of when a time.
Oh, we got the under 12 coming.
Yeah, but
we just got a timeout.
You kind of know when they're coming. In football, you legitimately know, right? Is it you punt?
But there's nothing worse than like a touchdown and a kickoff, and so they try to work around that a little.
Yeah, but for the most part, you'd say football and baseball, it's like, okay, we're going, right? 3 and out, you punt, boom. We do a TV timeout for 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Baseball, same thing. Fucking 3 outs, boom. I'm with it.
So again, I think shorten the ad breaks and put ads on jerseys and add on the jersey will feel, that's not a crazy thought. That should help the sport. Traditionalists will hate putting it on the jersey. I'm a traditionalist. I don't like the idea, but who cares? I just watched a soccer game. I didn't notice any of the ads. So whatever. We got the Nike swoosh on the front of the jersey
Not
now.
Totally against little hockey style. If they're going to fight, only 2 people are allowed to fight. None of them coming out. Let 2 guys go at it, and the 2 guys get to fight for until someone goes to the ground, then they break
and
out.
Then it'll just stop fights.
Yeah, no one's allowed to come out of the dugout. No one can come out of the bullpens. No one leaves their spot on defense. You all fucking stand, unless he's coming at you with a bat. But if they're just squaring up, they just get to go till someone goes to the ground. Hockey does it, and hockey's fine.
Yeah. But hockey,
remember the Samardzija, Mike Morris ended his career. They get outrageous. Baseball brawls get outrageous, and they waste a lot of time.
That's the thing. The problem is they're not brawls.
No.
So anyway, I don't know if any of those are revolutionary, but there's some baseball.
We'll find out in 2027 when they come back.
Yeah.